Okay, quick rundown for those of you who have not come across my content before. First of all, I'm Isis. Hello. And this is my second set of locks. I started my first set back in 2019, and ever since then, I've basically been like an advocate for locks. And so after about a year with my first set, I was already so in love with the journey, and I was so in love with just being able to embrace my natural hair in the form of locks. So I began sharing my journey on social media with the intention to not only inspire other people who were thinking about getting locks to start their journeys, but to also show up as a woman who recognizes the power in her natural being while living in a society that glorifies artificial beauty. And so ultimately, the further I got into my lock journey, the closer I got with nature, and the more I discovered how amazing it is to exist in the most simplest ways. And this is basically why I decided to start my semi-freeform journey. I am so excited to share this 2-year lock journey because for me, the semi-freeform low lock count is just so liberating, and it makes me feel like I'm always with the rawest parts of nature, because hair like this, it just carries that energy, that earth energy. If you know, you know. Okay, so let me start off by showing y'all what my locks are looking like at 2 years and 3 days old. Okay. So my last retwist was in March, and I'm thinking about either never retwisting again or maybe retwisting only once a year. I'm not sure. Stay tuned. So even though I'm at the 2-year mark, my locks actually are not fully mature. My ends still have the twist pattern, as you can see. I'm thinking around year 3, the twist pattern should be gone. I started with my hair pretty long, like past my shoulders. So the longer your hair is when you start, the longer it's going to take for like the whole entire lock to mature and to butt up. So some of my locks are thicker than the other ones. Some are flat. I'll be sharing an up close and personal lock tour soon, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so I put videos together of my locks throughout the past 2 years, starting with right before I combed out my first set. Oh, if I'm looking now, I'm looking at the videos. So I'm sure somebody watching this remembers this set. These were my 78-inch locks that I loved so much. They grew so long and so healthy. And when I started these locks back in 2019, I wasn't able to find a lot of interlocking content. I couldn't find a lot of people who maintained their locks using the interlocking method. So I was proud to be one of those people you can find on social media to get interlocking tips from, since the content was so scarce. So I have a few videos on my channel if anybody's interested in seeing any interlocking content. Okay, so it literally took me hella days to comb out these interlocks. It literally took me like 40 days. On average, it took 1 hour to comb out each interlock. And I had 78. I have not come across anybody who's combed out their locks that took that long. Over a month. Like, it literally took me forever. This was some of the shed hair from the back half of my head. When I shared this ball here on Instagram, so many people were like blown away. They were acting like this was like the craziest thing they ever seen in their life. Like, I know it looks like a lot of hair, but like when it comes to locks, like locks are just made up of shed hair. Your hair just sheds, and like that's basically what collects into the locks that makes them thick over time. And so I really thought people like would understand that, but like people were saying like I'm about to be bald when I finished combing out my whole entire head. It was crazy. And so I went and got my hair done for the first time in forever. I got it washed and blow dried and trimmed. And I literally didn't do anything to my hair for like 2 months. Maybe I did like a flexi reset like one time. And then I literally just started this set. Okay, so on to installing these locks. So first I had to decide how many locks I wanted. I went with 36 because I have fine, medium density hair, and so I knew I didn't want to do more than like 40, because if I did, my locks wouldn't turn out as thick as I wanted them to once they matured. And so I also wanted a number that could be evenly divided by 2 or 3 so that I can do twist out and braid outs, and so that landed me with 36. I didn't do super perfect parts. My parts are smaller near the perimeter and bigger in the center, and I did a standard break pattern parting system, nothing fancy. I knew I didn't want my parts to be perfect like forever, so I didn't really care. I just wanted it to make sure that it laid nice and, you know, was gonna look good. Okay, so at the very beginning, I really didn't do much to my hair at all. That was my plan, to have low maintenance, low manipulation. So I really just wore it down. Sometimes I wear it in a low bun. And I actually didn't even wash it until month 2. That's when I did my first wash and retwist. I know it's not because I was scared to wash my hair. It's just because I don't like washing my hair that often. I just don't like doing it, and it works for me. I don't need to wash my hair that often. I know people typically say like wash your hair every 2 weeks, wash your starter locks every 2 weeks, once a week if you want to. I did spray water on my hair every day. I just didn't wash it. I just like I said, I just don't like washing my hair. I wash my hair like every 2 months. Sometimes I might just randomly wash it, even though I washed it like a couple weeks ago. But I usually go like 2 to 3. So yeah, around month 2, there wasn't really any budding, but the roots were marrying a little bit. My roots were just, you know, getting puffy and fluffy. And this is how my first retwist came out. I air dried my hair in the clips. I always air dry my retwist. I always air dry my hair whenever I do anything to it. And I air dried it in the clips this time for my first time. So I know some people think month 3 is like too early to brush your starter locks, but honestly, it was fine for me. I think it really just depends on your hair type, obviously. But I started brushing my locks around 3 months, and I mostly like to brush my locks really to stimulate my scalp. It really made it still makes my scalp feel good, but like during this time, I remember like brushing my locks for the first time, and it just felt so good on my scalp. I don't know if I said this already, but I always use the soft side of the brush. So much shrinkage already. Okay. So month 4 is when I did my second retwist. My roots might have a little bit of budding. I feel like I can see a little bit of budding. Definitely getting more frizzy and fluffier. My ends were always unraveling, which was annoying. I just kept twisting them up, and eventually they eventually at least stayed together now. The twist pattern's still there, like I said, but they stopped unraveling probably around like the 1 year mark. And when I did this retwist, I used water and oil only. I don't use anything in my hair besides water and oil, mostly just water now. But then I did use water and oil to do that retwist. So month 5, back to the fluffy afro roots. Looks like I didn't wash my hair since the retwist that I did in month 4. Okay, so in month 6, I did my next retwist, and I used bobby pins to air dry my hair this time because the clips was so uncomfortable last time. I decided to air dry my hair in bobby pins overnight, and that worked out perfectly. I was loving how this retwist came out. I think this is either an old perm rod or flexi rod set, probably like day 7. Little baby curls. So month 7, a lot of shrinkage, puffy roots, starting to bud at the roots, if you can see that. At this point, I was putting water on my locks daily, spraying it daily, and I think like 2 to 3 times a week I was running water through my locks. When I would take a shower, I would run water through my locks. I was also doing perm rod sets, flexi rod sets, braid outs during this 7-8 month period. I did that to just add some movement to my hair, add some volume with the curls, because you know my locks are just so flat, and plus I don't have that many 36, so that definitely like helped add volume, helped add some volume, and also helped separate my roots since I was going like 2 months in between my retwists. So at 8 months, I did another retwist, and this is when I started to feel like my locks were starting to get a little heavier, started to get some density to them, mostly at the roots. I dried my hair in the bobby pins again for this time around. I think I used water and oil for this retwist too. Okay, so this is what I had to say on my 10-month lock anniversary.
So today, my locks are 10 months, and this is what my hair looks like. This is what my hair looks like basically every day since the last time I retwisted like 2 months ago. I haven't washed my hair. I think I actually am going to wash my hair today, like for real.
I don't even think I washed my hair.
But yeah, this is what my locks are looking like.
Wash it like 2 days later.
Pretty thick and crazy, but it's really about the foundation. This is the foundation.
So month 10, roots still getting thick. Twist pattern still popping. See, brushing my roots. Also during month 10, I was noticing that since the middle of my head, like the crown of my head, my locks were starting to get hella thick. And so I wanted to do a little bun check to see if I can gather all my locks because my roots was literally feeling so thick. I literally had to to get my hair into a ponytail, I had to, section it. I had to grab it in sections to get it smooth and slick back. My roots was doing numbers. All right, so at 11 months, I remember I did a perm reset and I did some really tight curls. I think I must have left the perm reset probably for over a day. And maybe I didn't. Actually, I think I left the perm reset just overnight and they lasted for I think they lasted a week. Definitely a week. They lasted a while. I really loved how my hair looked this day. So this was my 1 year loc anniversary. I ended up doing a retwist on the day of my loc anniversary. I dried my retwist in a braid out and it came out hella crispy. I was like, okay. But when I took it down, it was kind of what do you call it? Scalpy. But once I sprayed it with some water and it loosened up a little bit, I was like, yeah, this is nice. So yeah, I continued to not style my hair too much besides the curls and the braid outs. I basically did a routine of I would do a braid out or a perm reset, and I would let that stay in my hair for 2 weeks before running my hair underwater in the shower 2 to 3 times a week. And I would do 2 weeks of that, 2 weeks of a braid out. So at my 1 year and 3 month mark, I did another retwist with bobby pins, and I'm pretty sure this retwist, I used water only for the first time, and it turned out really good. It lasted, I would say, for 4 weeks or more. I mean, it was fluffy and frizzy by week 3, week 4, but it was still kind of intact. Also, remember thinking dang, my locks really about to be thick. I was really starting to see it at the roots. Okay, so I loved how these curls turned out. I did bantu knots one morning. I had dampened my hair with some water and then I just put it into some bantu knots, and then 5 hours or so later, I took it down and then I had these loose curls. I was really feeling these curls. So it looks like after the curls, I wet my hair again, ran water through my hair in the shower 2 to 3 times a week, like I said, 3 times already in this video. At 1 year and 6 months, I was noticing more length, because my hair had shrunk up a lot in the first year. So I finally started to feel like my hair was starting to get some length and stop shrinking. Definitely a lot more density happening coming down the roots, which makes sense. If my hair is getting longer, then that means the parts that were budding at the roots are now coming down, and the new roots are budding. So oh yeah, so right here I'm checking to see if I can gather all my locks like I did that one time when I did the bun. Still able to grip it, kind of difficult. I was also liking how my locks were starting to lay naturally, just waking up and they would just be laying down and they wouldn't be kind of froed up, And it was because they were starting to get more mature, getting more density, getting heavier, so they can kind of lay up against my face as opposed to sticking up and sticking out. So this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say I run my hair underwater 2 to 3 times a week. Literally, I just do this. No shampoo, no nothing. Just wet my hair, probably run it under the water for 1 to 2 minutes. Just make sure it gets real soaked up and then wring it out and let it dry throughout the day. So here's another retwist at 1 year and 8 months. I used the clips when I retwisted my locks, but once I finished retwisting my whole head, I actually took the clips out and ended up rubber banding my hair in sections and just letting it stay like that overnight. This retwist turned out so nice. And just a little pineapple style that I did a little after doing that retwist. Okay, and we're gonna end this with a beautiful texture shot. I love the colors of my locks in the sun. It's just so stunning. It's so gorgeous. I can look at videos of my locks in the sun all day. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, so that brings us to present day. This loc journey is all about less is more and letting my hair embrace its nature. In summary, I water my locks a lot. I left them alone for the most part. I retwisted every 2 to 3 months in like the first year, and then in the second year I started to retwist every 4 to 6 months, and now I'm thinking about retwisting maybe once a year or not retwisting at all anymore. We'll see. I love thick locks so much. I love the semi-freeform journey so much. I love my semi-freeform journey so much. I'm looking forward to year 3, so definitely subscribe for more loc content. Thank you for watching. Until next time, peace.